Canada is set to welcome its first plane load of refugees tonight at 9 p.m. Joining me live for more on this is Alex Mihailovich in Toronto. Alex, what process do these people have to go through after they land and get off that plane for the first time in Canada?
Well, it's going to be interesting. First of all, let's start off with this plane itself. We know that other refugees have come on private planes, so Air Canada, etc. This is the first military plane, so the first official Canadian operation to bring refugees to Canada. So there's over 160 people on this plane. It's coming to Toronto at 9:15 tonight. It's landing in a terminal at Pearson International Airport, which is Toronto's biggest airport. And that terminal, as far as I know, is going to be off limits to media. They want these people to come in without too much interruption. The Prime Minister of the country, as well as the Premier of the province of Ontario, which Toronto is the capital of, she's going to be there as well with the Prime Minister. So they're going to get a warm welcome, and once they get in, they're going to be processed through the Canada Border Security Agency. Those are the people that you see on the border, just like you have in the States, that people that check your passports and say welcome or say, well, we got to check you once again. So that whole process is going to be happening, as well as a quarantine process if necessary for people that are ill. There's always the fear of bringing in some kind of strange disease from another part of the world. So they will be checked and rechecked, and then they will be taken to hotels. Hopefully within the next couple of days, they'll be able to go to families who are sponsoring them. And that's a key element of this. Yes, the government is helping, but this first batch, we don't know really the equation, but many of them are privately sponsored.
Wow, that's amazing. Now, Canada's stance on bringing in refugees is quite different from a number of other countries that are accepting them, isn't it?
It is, and the stance has changed over the months. From the old government that we used to have here, the Conservatives, we were talking about numbers that range around 10,000 to be brought up to the year 2018. Since the Liberal government came into play just a couple of months ago, well, we heard the huge number of 25,000 to be pushed in within 6 weeks. That would have been from mid-November to the end of 2015. A lot of uproar about that. It was really indiscriminate, the people that were going to be brought in. It was just like a bulk number. Let's bring them here and then figure it out once they land. A lot of pushback came from that, and people said, okay, let's kind of reduce, and the government actually listened. So the people that Canada is letting in at this time are mostly families, also people from the lesbian and gay community. These are people that are threatened, of course, in that part of the world, and especially when it comes to an organization like ISIS, which likes to throw gay people off roofs. So Canada was like, no, we're going to let these people in first, as well as families. So these are less threatening groups. We know that the vast majority of those migrants that have moved to Europe are men between the ages of 18 and 40. I witnessed it myself when I was in Europe this summer. So these people are going to have to wait, those men, and right now we're letting in select groups. So it's going to be about 10,000 people to the end of this year, and then another 15,000 by the beginning of March. The number, again, adds up to about 25,000, but you got 3 months more to check these people, check their credentials, see who they are. As I mentioned, a lot of private sponsorship going on here, as well as government sponsorship, and they are going to be warmly welcomed, that's for sure. Kids are going to be integrated into schools. Families hopefully will be with people that came from that part of the world, as well as introduced to the vast majority of cultures that live in this country. And of course, cities like Toronto and Vancouver, very, very multicultural, as well as other cities in this country, as well as small towns as well. So they should be able to fit in rather quickly, and we should see those numbers grow over the next couple of years.
All right. Can only imagine how relieved some of those families, especially with children, are to land on Canadian soil. All right, Alex Mihailovich from Toronto, thank you very much.
Thank you.